怒りを叫べ悲しみを叫べ魂を叫べ今ここで叫べ
What is up, everybody? Welcome once again to the Yokai Delinquents podcast. I am Sean, Bearded Capolitan.
And I am Jerry Robo Tingu Smith. How's it going, Sean? How you doing today?
It's been a week. It has been a week. For those following me on social media, I had kind of made a post, and if I'm sounding any different, it's because I had to. I am recording in my not so spacious anymore living room, but still more open than the office I'm used to recording in. Here in the South, in Arkansas, we experienced what most Northerners call an average winter. We had a winter storm that many of our lovely neighbors were not prepared for. Letting your faucets drip is apparently a foreign concept. I'm assuming that's what happened because we basically, our upstairs neighbor's pipe burst. And we had a waterfall. You know, people pay high dollar for their homes to have an indoor waterfall going. We got that shit for free, yo. Except it just went all over the office carpet. Luckily, minimal damage. We still have to kind of go through some of the boxes that we still had packed up when we thought we were moving. But I can say my computer, luckily, and as far as I've seen, my collectibles came out fine. We're more worried about some of the wife's packed up like art books and stuff. We still have to go through that. Right. But that being said, I am having to record in the living room, and it's because I am not that guy, and she wouldn't listen to me anyway. You may hear my wife in the background, my lovely wife Vanetta. You may hear her doing stuff and things. I'm not going to tell her, you keep quiet while I talk to Jerry about bullshit on a show. So, yeah, that's been, we're still waiting right now. The office is nothing but concrete floor and a dehumidifying giant machine whirring. So I had to get the setup over here because I didn't want to. We luckily, with our recording schedule, we haven't missed a beat on the Yokai Delinquent side. We will be missing, for those who also follow me on my Bearded Kappa page, the Macabre Matinee will probably be missing a week unless we manage to get a quick recording session in. But we'll worry about that on that channel. This channel is going good. We're going strong.
Going strong.
I've only been back to work for 2 days, and I already am mad at everything about that. Just working in we're catching up from being closed for a week. We got just deliveries upon deliveries, and it's just been crazy. So instead of me whining anymore, I thank you for listening to that, though. Jerry, tell me something good. Give me something positive to talk about.
I got a haircut today, and I don't look fancy.
I've been trying to get a haircut for the past 3 weeks. I'm sorry,
man.
That's good, man. Hey, but for real though, how good is a haircut, man?
Man,
how much better do you feel, right?
It sucks though, because I finally had a regular person I was going to out here, and I went to schedule an appointment on Friday for today, and they were no longer on the list. So I assumed that something happened with that situation. So I was like, I gotta get a fucking haircut. So I just went over and found, oh god, I can't even remember what the place was.
Went to a Sports Clips.
It wasn't a sport. Super Clips. Super Clips.
Oh, Super Clips. We have Super Cuts down here. I wonder
or maybe it's maybe it was Super Cuts.
Oh, okay.
I think it was.
That might be the northern branch, since you're so northwestern right now.
Yeah, it was an interesting, because I called ahead and I couldn't hardly hear the person, and I was just making sure they take walk-ins and stuff. Right. And I walk in, and it's literally like no one else in here except for the one lady that's like cutting hair that day.
And it was just like, said, you fell for my trap.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, oh no. And then it turned into a whole, holy shit. What was, Little Shop of Horrors with the dentist? It was that whole scene going on, she put the laughing gas, and
That sounds like the best haircut I've ever heard of in my life.
So like yeah, I don't know, it was just like kind of awkward whenever you like start getting your hair cut by a new person and stuff, and like
Right.
you don't know if they want to talk or anything like that. So usually I just kind of like let them say stuff, and like I think there was literally one sentence there between the
Right.
both of us, and then literally it was just the haircut for 10 minutes, and then that was it. I was done. it
So,
was it was interesting.
right. So let me ask you this, as far as like with
Yeah,
haircuts, because I
yeah.
know like I have never known like the terminology
Hmm,
for like
hmm.
what I want. I usually
Yeah,
just like getting the haircuts beforehand. I'm pretty sure these barbers maybe did like, I mean, like, do you remember like that Coming to America where they just cut off
right.
cut off his ponytail? Like
Hmm.
that's it. I'm pretty sure I got like the most minimal haircuts done. Barely probably changed anything. They charged me full price because I was like, make it
Yeah,
short and manageable. Like I
yeah.
don't know like what to call things. Like, I'm
Mm.
so glad at this point Sonya just knows
Yeah,
what I
right.
what I'm gonna do, and she just says, sit down, shut up.
Yeah. That was kind of a thing whenever I came up here, is like, man, I guess I got to figure out the specifics of my haircut. So now it's like you go by like I guess sizes of the adjustments on the clippers. So I'm like
Oh,
two on the sides and just a trim on the top, essentially is what I say. And I do a
hmm.
left part.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah. So
I literally
that's been
own
working for me.
clippers. I literally own clippers and couldn't tell you any of the size of the guards. It's like
Right,
the
right.
small guard, the tiniest one.
Well, I only knew that from the last guy that I went to, and he's like, I think we did this last time, and then he did that, and I'm like, that looks right, sure.
Yeah.
So
Cause
I just kind of like stuck it in my head and just left it there.
yeah, 'cause even like Sonya back when I was kind of getting I was getting fades done. She was like,
Mm.
"Did we go with this size?" I'm like, "Sure did." I don't know. So we just rolled with
uh,
it. 'Cause
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
from haircuts. I buzzed my head for so many years until the wife was like, "You need to quit being lazy and get a real man haircut."
A big boy,
Yeah,
you know,
big
big
boy
boy
haircut.
haircut.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give you a lollipop or something whenever you leave.
I wish, man. Growing up sucks. You don't get lollipops anymore unless you have to buy your own. People used to hand you shit, candy from strangers, bro. That was the way to live.
That's true. All right. Well, I mean, we could stay on this probably for the rest of the
Dude, I
episode.
mean, I think we could just turn the whole podcast into a haircut discussion podcast. Yeah.
Give me your best barbershop memories and go. um, well, so I had a couple of things that were like, I guess, some kind of top gaming news stories from this month
Oh, okay.
that I was wondering your thoughts on.
Oh,
And the first one, it's something that you're into, but you're not. So there are
don't don't
definitely
you
things that
don't you
I
tell
know
me
you'll be
about my
able to touch
life.
on.
Don't tell me about my life, bro.
So I'm
Okay.
interested to see. Anyway,
Right.
they had the Final Fantasy live letter that came out earlier this month.
Oh,
Um, and everyone knew that it was going to be, really big announcements and everything, because they essentially have wrapped up the Shadowbringer storyline
right,
for that expansion. So everybody was like, "Oh, we're going to get the next expansion like news and stuff like that."
right.
And so what they announced was for fall 2021, they're going to be releasing Final Fantasy 12 Endwalker, which is, I believe, the fourth expansion in the series, if you don't count whenever they change things with Realm Reborn.
Right, right.
Um, and the first big announcement, and one of the things that people were really wanting to hear about, is a new class, because they're going to introduce two, but they only revealed one at this event. And the new, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it or the video for it or anything,
I haven't.
but
Yeah,
right.
hadn't checked it out. Sorry.
No, no, it's fine. I should have sent you a video with it, because I was curious as to what you were thinking of it. But the class that they're doing, and people have been asking for a new healer class for the longest time, is Sage. It's the
Oh,
newest
okay.
job that they announced. Yeah,
Nice, nice. Yeah,
yeah.
that's old school actually.
Hmm.
That's I
I,
what?
how,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, like, how did it work? Like, how did they do weapons or anything like that? Or
Honestly, as best I can remember, Sage was just kind
Mhm.
of that upgrade to the white mage.
Oh,
Like
okay.
when, like in the original Final Fantasy, when you start off, you pick a white mage in your party, and you do the Bahamut side quest to get your characters upgraded. It turned into a white
Hmm.
wizard, which was the more powerful, the more powerful heal spells and resurrection, full life and that kind of stuff.
Right,
And I
right.
think later on they added it in part three. I think is where it debuted. And they only really ever used it again in part five, where they really had the class system instead of having individual characters be the specific classes.
Hmm.
Where Sage was like one of the hidden classes, like the final ones, because it was like full cure, full life, max life, or maybe or
Mm.
something like that. So basically, it's a
Hmm.
souped up white mage, like because in you have to remind me in 14, I never played the healer classes.
Hmm.
Uh, did you start off a white mage, or is that one of the classes you upgrade to?
So you start as conjurer. No, is it conjurer? I think conjurer to white mage, if I'm
Okay,
not mistaken. Yeah.
so yeah, so now granted, with being an MMO, they may add a lot of
Mhm.
different stuff to it, but to my memory, if I'm not mistaken, it was just basically like a souped up white mage that had
Mhm.
more spells. Like maybe that was the one where they introduced like holy or
Mhm.
well, no, oh yeah, I'm getting my Japanese and American confused because they called it Pearl at one point because they can't have anything religious in the old Super Nintendo days.
uh,
But basically, like holy being like that was like that was like the white mage's only like really attack spell,
mhm.
and it was super powerful against like undead and that kind of stuff. So you might have like some attack. I'm guessing if you're going by the old
Mhm.
school, but yes, all I'm saying is if your first outfit isn't a cat ear hood, they're not doing shit right because in part three, if I remember, no, part three was a pope hat. Like you literally look like you had a pope hat and like the robes and stuff.
Oh,
Then I think it
yeah.
was in part five because different characters would look different in each one of the suits,
Mhm.
and one of them was like yeah they would turn it was like it was a instead of the white robed with the red triangles that are traditional to white mage, it was a cat
Mhm.
eared hood, little hooded thing. It was super cute. and
That's adorable.
if I'm getting my games correct. So that's interesting though.
Um,
But another heal class because
yeah.
really they only had what white mage and there's what a paladin,
Scholar.
scholar.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
yeah.
was, and then Astrologian was
Oh,
a healing class as well. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting because you had conjurer that went to white mage. You had scholar that came from I believe arcanist or summoner.
right.
And then you had so it was pretty much from arcanist. Like I think once you get arcanist up to a certain level, then you could do scholar, and then astrologian. And like so the interesting stuff with Sage. So a lot of their main characters that they have, like the Scions of the Seven Dawn.
Right.
Um, Whenever they bring in new classes, a lot of times throughout the story, they'll have those characters switch jobs and be one of the like in the last one they added Gunbreaker. So who was it? I am forgetting his name. One of the Scions became
Right.
a Gunbreaker,
Okay. Okay.
and it was really cool. Thancred. Thancred. I think he went from rogue to maybe ninja to gunbreaker.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
and they also did that. I think with Urianger. I think he was a casting class in um, the base game, and then
Right.
he later became Astrologian. So in this one, in the opening trailer, and they usually show it in the opening trailer, which was a fucking gorgeous trailer, by the way.
I'll have to
But
look it up for sure.
oh yeah, so Alphanod and Alizé. Alizé's a red mage now. Alphanod went from I think Arcanist to Scholar, and now he's Sage. And the big like weapon thing, because they're all like have a weapon based.
Right. Right.
It's like these almost like sort of hovering like polearm type of guns or something that float around him.
Huh.
It's Yeah, it looks really like it looks like it would be a good, sort of like healer slash like DPS, because like I think the other healing classes don't get a lot of like DPS type stuff. So it looks like it could possibly be not bad DPS, probably like one of the better DPS healing classes in the game.
See,
Uh,
I'm visualizing now the magic cannons from Knights of Magic. Wow, like when he created those like kind of the shoulder mounted
oh,
things. Like
well, they're like kind of hovering with
right,
like
but
magic, like
yeah.
yeah,
But the idea of
but
like
I
a magic cannon firing off,
right.
I don't know, that's just that jumped to my head
Yeah,
when I was
yeah,
thinking
and
about
I
it.
wonder with these kind of things if they'll do like a healing bullets type thing or something like that, like healing laser beam or something.
Dude, I am all
Uh,
about like a little jumping subject for just a second. I'm all about
yeah,
heal bullets right now, which A is a throwback to good old Borderlands,
yeah.
and B for those watching a secret dungeon only I can enter. Because one of my I don't did you get much? Did you get further than the first episode? I know you said you went to that.
Uh, I think I went around 3 or 4.
Did you get to the healer?
I did, but I don't know if I've watched too much after that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Uh,
she's a pistol wielding healer who shoots heal
mm,
bullets, and
that's amazing.
she is currently best girl for me in that show. So,
That's
but
fantastic.
but yeah, it's just so funny seeing it because like she's literally got like the shoulder holsters and everything or
Hmm.
hip holsters for the guns, and like I'll heal you. Pull out the gun. It's the concept. You were a heal
Yeah.
shooter at one point
Oh
in
yeah,
our Pathfinder
yeah, yeah.
games. It's always been
I
a
did an
yeah,
it's so great. I really wanted to, because I did a alchemist gunslinger
yeah.
and got the ability to heal with bombs and infused my bullets with my bomb abilities.
Just
So yeah.
just the idea alone, and like I said, it goes back to
Mhm.
like Borderlands. I think the first time we had that, where it was like, "Shoot me, I'm hurt," and just
Yeah.
a fun concept. So that no, but Sage sounds that
Mhm.
sounds really fucking interesting. Like
Yeah. And I'm no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know we talked about it with the episode with Jordan, and we probably
Hmm.
brought it up before. It's like I don't know why I don't love Final Fantasy 14 more than I do.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
every time I start up, I have gusto and everything I want. I'm a Final Fantasy fanboy for life, but it's like
Mhm.
I just have trouble sticking with it.
Yeah, I actually, it was kind of funny because Shadowbringers was the first expansion that we had actually, been caught up to whenever it came out, so we got to
Right.
play through it and everything. But they've released, I think, 2 more patches since the last time we played, so we need to jump back in and like finally finish up Shadowbringers and everything. It's supposed to be like fantastic, like story and more
Yeah.
dungeons and everything that they've
Yeah.
added.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
Yeah. Along with that update though, that you get the regular increase from level 80 to level 90. They've got a bunch of new areas like Garlemald, Thavnair, and the city of Radzethan.
Hmm.
They've got a new beast tribe, new threats. They're bringing anima into the game.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to take down a new primal. Of course, new
Hmm.
dungeons, new difficulty ratings, which I usually don't go too high or too crazy with the difficulty ratings.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and it's just like a lot of really cool stuff is coming, and this is actually the end of their first big storyline with the 2 worlds that you've gotten to at this point.
Okay.
So it's really really interesting, and really want to see where we're going to go next. Plus, the one of the things that I really like is seeing who they have the hero of light be in the opening trailer,
Right.
because that changes per game, and they don't always pick like the newest, prettiest class. This one was actually paladin, so
Oh.
I I think I played paladin through um, from like level 1 to 70 or whatever. That was like my main. So I'm honestly debating getting back on it just for this expansion.
Oh, that's interesting.
It
At
was
least to me,
yeah.
it's always that's a throwback. You say Paladin in Final Fantasy, I go
Mhm.
straight to Cecil from Part 4.
Mhm.
Went from the Dark Knight, into Paladin.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
really do I need to look up that trailer for sure when we get done here.
Yeah, yeah, and I think whenever they released the Shadowbringers trailer, I think the Warrior of Light was the Dark Knight,
Yeah,
or yeah, because it was all about the hero or Warrior of Light or Warrior of Darkness instead of Warrior of Light in Shadowbringers. It's
yeah,
pretty
for
cool.
sure. I never
Yeah.
got that far, sadly. The last new open I
Hmm.
remember is a giant kung fu fight, which I really dug
Oh yes.
for an opening
Yeah.
trailer.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a fun expansion. What was that? Stormblood. Yeah,
Stormblood. I
Stormblood was
think
good
that's
stuff.
the furthest I
Hmm.
got into the expansions.
Hmm. That one was a lot of fun.
I was
Um,
enjoying it, but then again, I don't know why. I eventually start
mhm.
this, the interest starts dropping. It's like, well, I don't want to be paying $12 a month for something I'm not playing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, I completely feel with you there. Um, On to some other announcements
Sure.
that were I believe this past week. That's the week of the 19th.
Mm,
Um, they did a
they
bunch of
did.
BlizzCon announcements. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. A lot of it's playing off of nostalgia.
Right.
Um, and
Which I'm all about being an old ass dude that
oh
I
yeah,
am. Yeah. Some of this news was actually a lot of BlizzCon news so far has been pretty interesting. I'm gonna let you
yeah,
pick
yeah.
out the ones you really liked, and maybe I'll drop on what I've talked if it's not the
Well,
same thing.
yeah, and I mean, I've got just a couple of things here. So I guess the big thing that I got out of it, that something that I had never gotten to play before, that I'm kind of happy about, but there seems to be a stigma on it, is Diablo 2
Yes.
Resurrected. Yeah, so they're re-releasing, remastering Diablo 2, which apparently they did that for Warcraft 3, and that's where the stigma comes from.
Yeah. That's well, I'll get into that, but if you want to
Hmm.
kind of
Yeah, but no, yeah, it's just basically a relaunch of that game, and I think I remember just barely booting it up on PC, and just like kind of at the time whenever I tried to play it, I was like,
yeah.
this game isn't really for me. So I have played through all of Diablo 3, so I'm kind of excited to jump into this one at some point too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Now, okay. So Diablo 2 remaster, which is
Mhm.
huge because not only is it being an HD remaster like they did with Warcraft 3. I forget what the subtitle for that one was. But it's
Reforged, I think.
maybe yeah, that sounds right. Uh,
Mm.
the big thing with Diablo 2 is it's also coming to consoles, and it'll actually
Mm.
have I don't know about cross play, but cross save.
Mm.
So like
Oh, that's
say
awesome.
you prefer to play on your PC like a lot of old school Diablo players would, and then
Hmm.
like you're going on a trip, you if you bought it on your Switch as well, you should be able to load up your same character.
That's awesome.
So that's very cool. I'm very happy it's coming to
Hmm.
Switch, even though I do have a PC. Honest, and I mean, I depend. It's probably going to be about a $20-$30 game. I'm guessing.
Hmm.
Uh, I'll
Yeah.
probably only buy it on Switch unless what'll make me buy it again is if it because like I'm assuming they're updating the controls to be like Diablo 3.
Hmm.
If that's not the case, because I had Diablo 1 on PS1, and that's unplayable on a controller. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you can, but you got to be dedicated. I was not dedicated. And
Right.
I played very briefly with a mouse and keyboard, so I get that control scheme. So we'll see. But I'm super
Hmm.
excited because, yeah, I owned it on disc. Someone had given me a copy of Diablo 2 on disc, and my computer just would not, like, acknowledge it. Like, it was too
Mm.
old of a game. So this was a long time ago, even on not even on a supercomputer that I have now. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that to get a chance to play it on Switch
Yeah.
because
Same.
I've been replaying 3 here recently. I threw that back in,
Hmm.
waiting on Monster Hunter if we're being honest. But I was like, you know what?
Right. Right.
I could always go back to Diablo 3. I've got 400 plus hours in that game. I've hit every max level with every class. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
love Diablo 3.
Yeah, that I think that was kind of one of our things whenever we first got moved in and didn't have any internet or anything, or our computers hooked up. We popped in Diablo 3 for PlayStation and just kind of like played that a bit and
Hell
stuff
yeah.
to kind of pass the time. And yeah, oh yeah, I it was a really fun game, and I should have played it a little bit more to get my Crusader further, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to Diablo 2 now.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what I was gonna.
Another.
Oh, sorry, I
No,
forgot.
no, no,
I,
no.
f-
Go ahead.
I
Go
forgot. I
ahead.
said I was gonna touch on the Warcraft
Yeah.
3 issue, which I
Hmm.
don't know all the details, but apparently they changed a lot of the core elements of 3.
Mm.
And but I think like the biggest thing was because the big reason 3 in back in the day got really big was it had a customizer. You could create your own arenas, your own maps, your own
Mm,
even your own
interesting.
playstyle. That's actually where is it Dota or League of Legends came from this,
Yeah.
from a mod that someone did on Warcraft 3 back in the day.
Oh, interesting.
It was like changed up certain rules, I guess, of versus turned into what turned into a MOBA style games.
Mm.
So, what I understand, one of the big complaints I remember on this Warcraft 3 was Reforged. Uh, I think there was a something in your when you play any game that has online stuff or just a lot of games period now you have to license agreement kind of thing that Blizzard Activision had full rights to your creations.
Oh, interesting.
So if you like design something that could blow up as big as what like say League of Legends became,
Hmm.
they could take your idea and be like, "Oh, this is ours. You made it on our software." So I
you
think
you
that
you
pissed some
mean
people.
you mean we created this?
Oh, you created this? I created this. uh, that on top of I do believe they changed up some core mechanics and stuff. And people just said it wasn't very a good adaptation. But
Hmm.
honestly, I think a lot of it came down to that, which Blizzard, understandably, ever since they've been purchased by Activision,
Hmm.
uh, a lot of people have been very unhappy with a lot of like policies and stuff. And I don't. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I
Hmm.
play World of Warcraft. I played Diablo. Nothing they are doing. Any changes have affected me in the least. But
Hmm.
I'm not a content creator in that aspect,
Hmm.
and I'm also not one to and everyone you have your rights of what you believe in, what your moral compass is. Like,
Hmm.
but I'm not one of those guys who's like, what a business company is only about the money. I'm appalled, and
Right,
I'm like,
right.
yeah, that's why they are a biz. That's why they went into business to make money. That's what it's about. I mean, but that's just for me. So, uh, I here's the thing with a lot of like big companies too. I think you get a lot of people who are very vocal and hateful about like what they're doing, but
Hmm.
they're still looking, they're still watching, they're
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
still playing,
Hmm.
but they want to bitch on forums to seem like they're above it all. Like
Right.
because I follow World of Warcraft specifically, not just Blizzard, but World of Warcraft official page on Facebook, and I don't go to comment sections often, but every now and again there's someone who gets because you always see like one comment is always shown in the page, even if you don't click it. And
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, they're like, I quit playing 5 years ago. This company's going to hell. Then why the fuck are you on this page? Fuck.
I'm sorry. Did you say you were on Blizzard or Marvel's social media?
I mean, insert big conglomerate
Yeah, yeah,
here. It's like, why? Why are you just like, look at me like, you know what? I pay my subscription to Warcraft. I play the shit out of it.
yeah. Hmm.
I've bought Diablo 3 at least 3 times. I know I bought it originally on PS3 when it came out. I'm pretty sure I bought it
Hmm.
digitally on PS4 for the upgrade, if not the physical for 4. And then I bought it on Switch when I got my Switch. I if I like a game, I don't mind paying for it. So like, and if it's not what I want, I just kind of okay. Like if this Diablo 2, I'm probably gonna buy it without a demo or anything to see what changes. Not that I would really know what the changes,
Hmm.
but it's like, and I'm kind of going off on a different rant. I'm sorry, I'll get off this tangent for a
No,
second.
you're fine.
But it's
You're
like
fine.
I'm not gonna like okay because I guarantee it there will be changes in Diablo 2, and
Hmm.
Diablo 2 was a seminal game for people who got to play it. It is kept like that dungeon crawler, loot crawler like genre. It set the standard from my understanding. Like 2 is phenomenal for its time of
Hmm.
release. So I guarantee you're going to see people just shitting all over it, even if it's a good port.
Right,
So
right.
I,
And I mean, like, my biggest differences between this and the whole Warcraft 3 debacle was like I don't think they really had anything after Warcraft 3 to base a remaster off of except for, World of Warcraft.
right,
So like the whole thing with this is like, hey, Diablo 3 is, doing gangbusters. Let's just do Diablo 2, but kind of like update it to like Diablo 3 standards. And if they're doing something like that with like, the storyline and everything, I'm down. Just do that. That's
yeah,
perfectly fine.
just
Like, I don't think they're going to make a lot of like weird, like sporadic changes or anything like that. And since I've never played it, I don't really have anything to go off of, but no, I'm down for it.
absolutely. If all I want
Hmm.
is if it's going to be on a console instead of the the mouse clicky style on consoles,
Hmm.
let it play like
Hmm.
Diablo 3. Diablo 3 plays beautifully on consoles. So
Hmm.
change the controls, update the graphics, make them a little bit prettier, and
Hmm.
I don't know enough about the game. If they do change something, I probably won't even fucking notice or care.
I know, right? Some other Diablo news that came out is,
Yeah.
they're prepping for Diablo 4,
Yeah.
so they announced the rogue class for the game and had a nice little trailer for it. So we got to see some stuff on that. So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Um,
A new class coming in. Actually, like, and I could be wrong. I thought someone had mentioned this is a class they had maybe in part two, but it wasn't in
hmm.
three. I could be mistaken on that. But new class, and just good old like Diablo, like I said, dungeon looting. It's
Hmm.
it will be the first like World of Warcraft was obviously I paid for. Although like
Hmm.
I mean I paid for it a long time ago when I got this new fancy computer. It's the only game I've really played outside of Final Fantasy 14, which I did. I guess I did pay for that to get that version. But like this is like I'm gonna buy this on my computer and play it. Like
Hmm.
it's weird. As nice of a gaming computer as I have now, I've only played WoW and a couple other MMOs
Yeah.
on it. I'm still very much a console boy, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm buying this day one.
Yeah, and I honestly I got a 3 day one, so I
Oh,
will probably get 4 as
yeah.
well.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's kind of cool, and I like where they're going. I still kind of want them to do some kind of like Holy Knight, like Crusader, Paladin, or something. I don't know. That's just kind of like the class that I've been like geared towards. But so far they've got with the addition of Rogue, they have Sorceress, Druid, and Barbarian. And honestly, like Druid looks fucking cool as shit.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I am
Oh,
really
I
really
need.
digging how that looks.
I'm like my favorite class in three is was the newest class was the Necromancer.
Oh
Um,
right, yeah,
but beyond that, it's the Witch Doctor for me, or the Demon Hunter was fun too. But
yeah,
like the
yeah.
Necromancer is my favorite. I started a new character. Just I can
Hmm.
replay this game over and over and I don't care. And now I'm
Hmm.
doing a corpse explosion build, where
Oh
it's
yeah,
just make as many corpses around me as possible and just nuke the area. It's so fucking fun
that's
running
that's so great.
the portal dungeons and shit.
Yeah, I did for my first playthrough. I did Wizard, and I did kind of like a time ice sort of build, and it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So touching back on that nostalgia factor,
Yep.
they're doing, and I didn't know if I was honestly always wondering if this was going to be a thing that they did, and I'm just kind of like wondering, like, where is this going to end? But for World of Warcraft Classic, they did the Burning Crusade expansion.
Yep.
So it's like if you keep doing this, eventually you're just going to have World of Warcraft like how it is already, right?
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Um, it's I don't know, man. Uh, it feels like they're just this is and it has an audience. I tried
Hmm.
creating a character, but you know what? I guess I don't hate the new Warcraft enough to where I want to go back to because I'm like the idea of like I remember because I started with vanilla. My brother was in the beta and he got me and my dad playing Warcraft with him when it
Hmm.
came out. And my dad and him played like EverQuest and a little bit of Final Fantasy 11. And I was like, fuck MMOs. I'm playing Final Fantasy 10. I don't give a shit about y'all's game. But Warcraft
Hmm.
clicked with me. and World of Warcraft
Mm-hmm.
clicked with me. So like I remember the old days. I was like, yeah, I remember when you actually had to work for your levels. I went back like, ew, I don't want to work for my levels. What do you mean I got to craft bullets for my hunter?
Oh god, that was the worst.
What? What do you mean I don't have a pet immediately?
And it's funny. It's like the same complaints that I see whenever I go into Monster Hunter forums and stuff like that. Is like people complaining about the newer Monster Hunter games for being like quote unquote too easy, but it's like it's not too easy. It has quality of life updates in it that I feel like
Yeah,
those
for
kind of
sure.
games like do very well with. And it's like I don't like. Yes, I don't want to fucking grind out some fucking bullets for my hunter or whatever.
No, as
Um,
far as
yeah,
Monster Hunter, let me jump on that because I've been hearing this lately. With of
yeah.
course with Rise coming out and Rise playing a lot more like
Hmm.
World, which World has
Hmm.
been probably I believe someone had mentioned recently has been their best selling Monster Hunter, and
Hmm.
worldwide. It's always been huge in Japan, but it never was very big in the West until
Hmm.
like around I say four U on 3DS probably, and the PSP ones I think did okay, but
Yeah.
because as you said quality of life. The difficulty is still there. It's not. It
Oh
didn't turn into a hack and slash. But now we got these motherfuckers out here who I don't believe any of them played it on PS2. you know, are like, oh, we need Monster Hunter Classic. I want to go back to place. Like, do you even know how it played on PS2?
oh
I don't
man,
want to use the
I
analog stick to swing my weapon around.
that the two biggest issues I had in that game,
Yeah,
right, was using the analog stick to fight
yeah,
and having to have the exact mats that you needed in your inventory to craft a weapon.
yeah.
Um,
Because I'm gonna
because
say,
and yeah, yeah,
no, I'm sorry. I
it's
was just
it's
gonna say,
really
like, I'm gonna say it. Anyone who
yeah.
says we want the PlayStation 2 one as it was re-released, you never played it.
Mhm.
You never
Yeah.
played it on PS2 because fuck you. I'm gonna take that stand. Like, cause I had it on PS2. I had heard the legend of
Hmm.
it, and I was working at
Hmm.
GameStop, and someone traded it in, and they were phasing out PS2 games.
Hmm.
So I'm like, well, this I know this is kind of a hard to find game, so it was like, but it was only like $20. That's kind of how like rare ones were going for. So I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna get this game, and I took it home and I brought it back because I like analog stick control. And granted, I did not know how to. I knew nobody who had played it. I just heard about it online. But
Hmm.
like, I remember trying to swing the great sword with the fucking analog control. Like, this is garbage. This is a dumb series, and there's no way my friends Jerry and John will ever get me to play this game with them in 15 plus years.
Yeah, it was very hard. That's probably like that coupled with like, I didn't have internet hooked up to my PlayStation back then
Right.
and knew nothing about online gaming in general. But yeah, it was just a difficult game. And I honestly don't even think I ever made it past the Rathlos just because like it was so hard to fucking
Yeah, because
wield greatsword and everything. It was just such a pain.
wasn't it Rathian or Rathalos was like the flagship monster?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, who wants to go back
The
to that being your epitome of challenge?
yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
I don't buy it with Monster Hunter. I don't buy these. I've been hearing it more and more because I think Rise is coming out. So of course, everyone who
Hmm.
doesn't want to play Rise because it's the new hip thing are like, we
Hmm.
need to go back to the old way. It's like, no, there was only like five monsters in the first game. Who wants? I'll be done with
Yeah,
that so soon.
yeah, yeah. So they did also announce the 9.1 patch for World of Warcraft: Chains of Dominance, which I
Yes, they
know
did.
next to nothing about.
Yeah. So that's the first not it's the first words patch. There's the
Patch,
word.
yeah.
For
Gotcha.
the new expansion that came out for Shadowlands, new dungeon. We're finally taking on the big bad that they set up in the last one.
Mm,
I know they're going to be, which will be more dungeons, more some obviously quality of life changes. I'm sure some nerfing thanks to PvP, which is still the dumbest fucking thing ever. Like, don't change my PVE abilities just because players want to fight each other. So and so's OP. Like, I like being OP against a computer. I don't give a fuck.
right.
But the big thing, oh my god, the big thing, because I'm enjoying this expansion, but world
Hmm.
travel can be very annoying at times. And they're finally gonna. I'm sure it's still gonna be a long, arduous quest, but we're gonna be getting able to fly soon, and
Nice.
that's big for your daily grinds and your rep building and the dailies and whatnot. Because I
Hmm.
took the vampire group for my main and traversing that area because there's a lot of like towers and like elevators and shit, and I just want to fly. It's so fucking annoying. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I kind of like how they handled it in Final Fantasy, because you would get to the new expansion areas, and they had these like wind current, the aether currents or whatever,
Yeah.
and you had to find all of them for a map, and then you could fly in that area. And like, if you had a friend that already had them, then they could just fly you around to them and stuff like that. And then with the last expansion that they brought in, they just made it to where you can fly in the starting areas and stuff too.
Oh,
So
okay. Nice.
yeah, it was pretty great. It was like, yes, quality of life. That's what I
I
want.
I I did enjoy that a lot more than having to get exalted or revered with every faction. I did
Oh
do in
yeah.
Warcraft still. It's just a
Hmm.
tedious grind. It's to that point where like I'm not one for microtransactions. I don't support it very often.
Right.
I buy flying for $20. I ain't gonna
Right.
lie.
Just so you don't have to go through that headache.
Just because rep grinding, like I like leveling
Yeah.
characters, I like exploring. I don't like just doing the same missions over and over to make these fucking elves like me. But maybe that's just me. I'd be like, you know what? I'll give y'all $20. Let me fly. Just let me fly. 20. I got 20 twin on it.
Yeah, seriously. Just here you go.
Yeah,
Take your
but
money.
I did enjoy that about 14. I did get to a little bit of the flying areas,
Mhm.
and like sometimes it was fun. Sometimes I was like, "Fuck, do I have to find another?" Or I would find all the spheres and then remember, "Oh wait, you also have to do certain quests." So I had to figure out what quests I skipped
Right.
that had them. But it was worth it to fly around in my Final Fantasy VI mech.
Right. I actually had the fat chocobo, and it was
Oh,
great
it's awesome.
because when you're normally riding with it, you just throw out like a fishing pole with like the piece of lettuce or whatever, and it just chases that whenever you're. But whenever you fly, they switch it to a piece of cake.
Piece of. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it's so great.
And sir, they're called Geschel greens,
Geshel greens. I couldn't think
not
of
lettuce.
the
You
name for them.
fucking
Hey,
noob.
listen, they're Final Fantasy's equivalent of lettuce. Fight me. I don't even care.
I can't argue that.
Yeah. um, so that's all I have for BlizzCon. Did you have anything you wanted to add for that one?
uh, honestly, I haven't seen much else on it. It was I said a lot of Diablo 4 more than like so they announced the Warcraft stuff and then the Diablo 4. Like I haven't again, my life's been pretty active this last week.
Right.
I saw something about PvP in Diablo 4, like an open world option.
I somebody was talking about that. Talking to our friend Brandon when we were playing Valheim last night, and
Yeah.
essentially there is a specific area that you can go to for like these shard clusters or something,
Uh huh.
and you have to take them to another area to make them whole or something like that. And apparently, whenever you bring them there and you have to put them in a certain thing to get them to charge, people can attack you and steal yours and stuff like that. So it's a big thing. But
Oh,
from the
okay.
sounds of it, it's mainly just for PvP items or for like, some glamour stuff, some mounts or something like
Right.
that. Which is everything I fucking want in any game ever. So it's gonna kind of suck
Uh,
if I want to see anything cool for that.
as long as it's optional, for me.
Yeah, they'll throw in a fucking Tengu mask or something into
Right.
that and make me do it, and it's gonna suck. But
I'll be there with
whatever.
you, helping you get that Tengu mask. You know that. You help me get my copper
So,
shell or whatever it is. It'll probably be.
oh yeah, yeah, no, 100%. We're gonna be there. We're doing that if that's a thing. So the other company that I had that released a lot of news this last week was Nintendo. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct announcement
Yeah,
slash stream that they did. And that released a lot of really cool news. Some stuff that I know a lot of people have been wanting. I really hope that we get like an expansion on this because I want to see more. The first thing that I got is the Ninja Gaiden collections coming to the Switch.
yeah, yeah,
So that's pretty cool. I never actually finished those games because they were so fucking hard.
yeah. Way too hard for
Um,
me to enjoy, but
yeah,
loved watching my friends suffer and
you're right.
enjoying the cutscenes and
Oh man.
with the voluptuous ladies. But no, like
Mhm,
very cool games that I'm no good at. So
mhm.
will sadly
Yeah,
not be a purchase for me,
yeah.
but it is. I think that's a very cool collection to be coming to the Switch.
Oh yeah, and I might give it another shot. Just to kind of check it out. They've also got. I'm gonna kind of jump around on this one. Star Wars Hunters, which I'm not really super familiar with the company that's putting that out or anything. Let's see, it's Zynga, the studio best known for developing games like Farmville and Words with Friends, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be a shooter with the bounty hunters, and it's like squad based and is set between the events of episode 6 and 7.
Like I believe they said like they're classifying it as a competitive shooter. So I'm picturing a Fortnite, Apex Legends style game
Right. Yeah, I'm
with
from.
different bounty hunters and stuff. Like
Hmm.
even though they're not like recognizable ones, they might be original. But like the idea of
Hmm.
like bounty hunters competing for a bounty.
Yeah.
But literally all they gave us was a teaser of a teaser trailer. So
Hmm.
they
Yeah, and
said
that's
oh,
that's kind of what I gained from that is like it kind of looked very Fortnite esque and kind of like just kind of fun.
they said free to play. So
Um. Oh yeah,
I believe they
nice.
said free to play, so that's at least worth a download to try out for me.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I've never been into this series, but this version of the game looks kind of fun. Is the Plants vs Zombies Battle for the Neighborhood?
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it almost looks like an Overwatch esque version of Plants
yeah.
vs Zombies, which I didn't play Overwatch very long. Like I did a bit in it, but I don't know. This looks cute. Looks pretty fun. Looks very Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's be. I know, like Plants vs Zombies for like a year. I would say that was like that. That was the shit. Like a lot of
Hmm.
people were. I remember hearing about it, seeing all kind of stuff. Being a tower defense game, and then I think they did try to kind of expand it into like almost a shooter, like an Overwatch shooter. So it sounds like they're
Hmm.
continuing that direction. Which for what it is, yeah, sure. I'm sure it's gonna have a very good audience for that.
Yeah, yeah, it looks neat. Something that I always wanted to play back on, I think it was the GameCube, that I never really got to. I just don't think I ever was able to find it. But they're remastering Stubbs the Zombie. Did you ever see anything on that one?
No, I didn't actually.
You're essentially just playing as it's a third person action game where you take control of a zombie and you devour brains and turn people into zombies and stuff, and
Hmm.
like you can lose your limbs, and it's just ridiculous fun.
Nice. No, I never
But
heard of that
yeah,
one.
yeah, it was a really fun looking game, so I'm gonna have to check it out. And then we got new trailers for Monster Hunter Rise,
Ooh.
showing some new monsters in the Rampage mode, which looks pretty fucking dope.
Yeah.
And I am here for that. Also, a new spider monster looks like. Um, I believe it was called the Kadaki.
Yeah.
Um,
So let me tell you
Go
about
ahead.
that real quick.
Yeah.
We don't need more spiders in this world unless they are cute isekai spiders. Yeah, it looks terrifying to me. Like
Yeah.
the Narcilla has never been, even though it's one I usually had to farm for
Mhm.
like sleep bomb, early sleep bomb. I
Yeah.
believe the Narcilla blade was the way to go in part 4 in
Hmm.
Generations. But this one is like draped in its own webbing,
Yeah.
and for
It's
some
scary.
reason that just gives me the heebiest of jeebies. Like that, the heebie-jeebies is just horrible. Like I'm not gonna
Hmm.
enjoy. I'm one part of me is gonna enjoy killing them horrible monsters, but it is legit creepy looking to me. I dig it because
Yeah.
that's what I should feel about a monster I want to kill repeatedly.
Right. Yeah. And I'm wondering if it's going to be like an armor aspect with the web, like
Oh,
it's harder and you have to break it, kind of like the Gammoth-headed snow
right.
tucked in it.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think I also saw at one point it shoots out like eggs, so I wonder if like eggs will hatch and you'll have to fight little spiders.
I need a
Um,
Grogu to eat all the spider eggs for me.
Something that got me really excited, that I was excited already that they announced. So technically, this isn't a new announcement. I think it was just a new trailer and the date for it. But they are releasing No More Heroes 3, and with it, they are re-releasing 1 and 2.
Right.
Is this a game that you ever played?
I have never played them. I didn't actually. I
Hmm.
don't think I've ever. Oh no, I've owned a Wii. I may still have a Wii in a box, but
Hmm.
I barely played Wii outside of like Rock Band with my family,
Hmm.
and didn't do much on the Wii. I'm not surprised this is up your alley. It is very
Hmm.
much a Jerry game in all the good
Right.
ways, in a
Yeah.
completely complimentary tone. Over the top. I believe he has a pomp. I believe he's rocking a
Yeah.
pompadour, and he has a
Hmm.
lightsaber. So I mean, yeah, this is a Jerry game. Like, matter of fact, how come you haven't cosplayed this man?
I had thought about it, and it's funny because my first introduction to this game or this character was the first Acon that I ever went to. Someone who's, I think his real name was actually Travis, was
Oh,
cosplaying Travis
nice.
Touchdown, and he made his own like beam saber and everything like that, and it made me interested. But I never played it on Wii. Later on, they made a port for PS3, I believe.
Okay.
um, yeah, so I actually got it for that and played through the first one, but they never did the second one. So I'm kind of excited to get the whole trilogy on Switch now that
Oh,
I have one. It's coming out in August 27th.
oh, very nice. Yeah, that would be a. Yeah, I mean, it's not really like I'm not too much into like. 'Cause it looks kind of like a hack and slash kind of game, which are
Hmm.
hit and miss for me. You know what I mean? Like if it's on
Right.
sale, I might grab it though because like the story and the style is very cool.
Hmm.
I believe that's a Suda 81 or
Yeah.
studio,
Yeah.
something like that.
Hmm.
Which has
Yeah.
always had the kind of like if he like the movie Red Line, it makes me think about
Hmm.
like the
Right.
anime movie Red Line. For those who don't know, this reminded me of like I'm shocked he wasn't involved in that somehow. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it seemed very much his over the top style.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's just like jam packed with it's a Suda 51.
Suda 51. Okay, I knew it was something like
Yeah,
that.
but he like just throws in all kinds of like pop references and stuff like that, and like references to just an anime and comic books. It's so great, and
Right.
like some of the stuff that he's done is Killer 7, Killer is Dead, Shadows of the Damned, and it's all like wacky, just violent, like I don't know, just fun, ridiculous games. And yeah, it's always been really interesting, and I've always enjoyed playing them. Um, then so this is a anniversary this year, and you and I have actually discussed this
Right.
along with it was the Mario anniversary last year, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So this year it is the 35-year anniversary of Legend of Zelda.
Yes, it is.
And so everyone kind of knew, like, oh, we're going to get some, ports or remakes or re releases onto the Switch. And I'm hoping that this is just the first one because there are other games that I want. But I actually have not played Skyward Sword, and they announced it for the Switch.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
that one is one of the more divisive of the recent
Hmm.
like games.
Hmm.
Like, but I think a lot of that came from when it released on the Wii U because the Wii had Twilight Princess, so it
Hmm.
had the Wii U, which had still a lot of the motion control stuff going on.
Hmm.
Although
Oh, it was the Wii, not the Wii U.
was it the Wii Skyward Sword?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, maybe it was
2011.
both because like I know I remember like
Hmm.
Twilight Princess came out for GameCube and the Wii, so maybe this one was Wii and Wii U, so you had a different option.
Yeah.
So like again, much like Twilight Princess, I think the GameCube version was more liked than the Wii because of the motion controls with a Zelda game. Can be iffy, but I think it's starting to get a bit more love than it deserves. Like, don't get it wrong. For me, unfortunately for me, Zelda died when it went 3D. Like, I've never been able to get into any of them. I
Really?
much
Oh
prefer the
man.
top down, Link to the
Yeah.
Past, even the new like Link Between Worlds, and I really want to play. I still need to
Hmm.
play that Link's Awakening remake.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really do want to play that eventually, but
Hmm.
like I don't know, I couldn't get into Ocarina or Majora, which I know is that's what you really are wanting to get into.
Oh man.
Which they ported them to the 3DS. I'm
Hmm.
honestly shocked, but again, I think we talked about this just in our chats, but
Hmm.
with each other and some friends. Like, the year is just starting. I would
Oh yeah.
be shocked if they don't release, like, digitally. Obviously, you can buy them individually, but even a physical double pack of Majora and Ocarina.
Hmm.
I would love
Yeah.
like what they
I
did on
need it.
GameCube. You could actually find those Zelda collections that had like
Hmm.
1, 2, and Link to the Past in one disc.
Hmm.
Like that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd dig that.
Yeah. They did a thing like that for GameCube. Whenever they released like a special edition disc before Wind Waker came out,
Yeah.
and they had like the early games, and then they also had it to where you could play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on GameCube. And I wore that fucking disc out so bad that like it could not be played. It was so much fun. And
Right.
yeah, like you said, how they remastered Link's Awakening, I could easily see them doing that with any of the older games, and I would love to see that. That
Oh,
would be so cool.
the Game Boy games especially. Like the
Hmm.
3DS had the Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, like
Hmm.
Game Boy Color games. I would love for them and having
Hmm.
a 2-in-1 because you could cross. Once you beat one, it gave you access
Hmm.
into new stuff in the other one. So I would like that to
Hmm.
be like an HD or at least a nice graphical upgrade of those.
Hmm.
And the one I really want to play is because for some reason I could not get into it even on a on a portable screen, but the Minish
Hmm.
Cap one for Game
Oh
Boy
yeah.
Advance. These are the ones that are it's it's Zelda, but they're made by Capcom. So they
Hmm.
got a different feel to them, but it's still very fun, and it's still kind of that classic Zelda that I like.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean honestly, and I would be happy if they wanted to go back and do Twilight Princess because I never really got to play that one either.
Yeah,
So I mean, they they just need to do it. They just need to make them all do it
yeah.
right now.
I'll be like I said, I'll be disappointed if we don't get all the ports of the old games.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm fairly excited about that. And another thing to note, because I was kind of watching this as it was happening, and everybody, was of course waiting for Breath of the Wild 2 news. They actually didn't have any update about that other than saying, like, yes, we're still working on it,
Yeah,
but we don't really have anything to say about it this time. One of the things that kind of touch on it though is they've got Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, right? Which is
right.
your typical Dynasty Warriors game, but with Zelda characters. And Age of Calamity is cool because it touches on the war with Calamity Ganon and everything that takes place before Breath of the Wild. So
Right.
I kind of like how they brought that in because a lot of times you very rarely have Legend of Zelda games that are like you know as connected as that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially like yeah, 'cause like I said, there's been very few that are like true sequels. It's always been kind of like, and they're not even going to try and get into the timeline of Legend of Zelda.
Oh, I know, I know.
But yeah, so that is definitely very cool. Well, Jerry, we are
Hmm.
nearing our time. Is there any other last little bits you want to throw in there, or?
Well, I had like an hour discussion that I wanted to do on Mario Golf Super Rush, but I guess it could wait till next time.
It's Mario. You played the golf course. You enjoy yourself. Go fuck yourself. How's that? But there, yeah,
Perfect.
a new
That
Mario.
summed it up.
Yeah, a new Mario Golf though. Always fun from what I understand. Not my cup of tea, but I know a lot of people
Right.
enjoyed the Mario sports games.
Right.
But if
Yep.
you enjoyed Mario sports games, why are you listening to us? You should enjoy us. And like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys once again for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video game news. Let us know what y'all thought about it. Any of these announcements we talked about. Are you looking forward to anything? Is Blizzard gonna ruin your Diablo 2? Is the money mongers gonna just wreck your childhood? Whatever, what the fuck ever. Sorry, but that's gonna do it for today, and we will catch y'all later.
Peace.